Member for McPherson.
Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, I commend my friend and colleague, the member for Gippsland, for moving this motion in relation to the government's failure to govern for older Australians. And, Deputy Speaker, I am livid. I'm livid on behalf of the thousands of older Australians, not only in my seat but around this country, because some of the changes that the government's proposed and that the government is making are going to affect them in such an unconscionable and a serious way. And I say to those opposite, the ones who have contributed to this debate and those who are sitting in the chamber today or watching, you should really look at yourself and look at the content of what we're saying, because this is about your parents, it's about your grandparents, and it's about people that you represent or are supposed to represent in this place. And what you're doing to older Australians is not something worthy of representatives. Deputy Speaker, I ran a campaign in my electorate after the changes for 65+ were announced, which are going to mean that older Australians are going to be paying more for their private health insurance. We received over 2,000 responses to those surveys, and most of the responses focused on the fact that these are older Australians who have worked for this country, who have done the right thing for so many years, and now they're finding themselves in a really difficult spot as a result of this government's characterisation of them. And it was said by the member for Gippsland, and I absolutely echo his comments, that we need to call this out for what it is. It is a Labor Party government that is punishing Australians who don't vote for them. And that is fundamentally disgusting and it's dishonest. Now, I'm going to read, Deputy Speaker, some of the comments, and I know there are those opposite laughing, but this is a serious matter. I'm going to read some of those comments that ordinary Australians, people in their 65+ category, have written to me about and give them a voice in this place, because those on the opposite side of this parliament are prepared to go against them. And I quote, "That's a joke, Leon. We currently struggle to maintain existing low cover. Any further change will force us to the public system." Another person said, "It's a money grab by Labor, who've wasted money, now targeting aged people who've been prudent with their money throughout their tax-paying years." Someone said, "I'm 79 years old, on pension and still working because of rental costs. I think this is excessively unfair. Please consider accepting pensioners from these continual rises. I've tried to stay independent, not to be a burden to the government, but it's becoming really frightening when there is nowhere else I can go to if I can no longer afford rent and health care too. As a still working self-funded semi-retiree, 73 years old, I feel disillusioned and disgusted by our current government, who seem to be hell-bent on removing any incentive to be a self-sufficient, hard-working person. This is in complete contrast to what I was taught growing up. Work hard, take responsibility for yourself and for your family. We see aged care and NDIS funding being misappropriated in the millions of dollars, while inept ministers seek to take funds from the disabled and elderly victims. Deputy Speaker, there are many of these comments. When we joined a health insurance, the government advised the rebate would be for life. We trusted that promise. To do this to older retirees is criminal. A lot of them are hanging on by the skin of their teeth financially. When they need their insurance the most, and after paying premiums for years with minimal claims, Labor will pay the price if they mess with older Australians. And another person, so this is over $1,200 for the two of us. If more people drop out of private health, not only will it affect the elderly, hospitals are struggling now, how will they cope with the extra patients? Waiting lists will lengthen even more. The younger population will also be impacted with increased premiums due to the large number of contributors dropping out. Deputy Speaker, I have so many. I asked my staff to print out the first 50 that came through out of 2,000 people, and these are some of those comments. And so I say to those opposite, you can dismiss this topic in here, you can come into this place and you can act like that you're gods and you're not doing anything against older Australians, but older Australians see through your mess. They see through your lies, they see through your incompetence, and what we're And what
Member for McPherson, you'll need to withdraw the unparliamentary reference.
I withdraw, Deputy Speaker.
Thank you.
But those opposite who are calling out things from across the chamber should sit and look at yourself, because you're doing this to older Australians who have done nothing but the right thing. They've worked hard their whole life, and you're coming into this place and ripping out their future from under them.